So this week I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the college football playoff rankings, and that's going to go along with my rant about FSU. Yes, I have another rant about FSU. And I'm also going to say my goodbyes to Florida coach Coach Muschamp. So about those rankings, I definitely agree with the top four this week. I do think that Alabama deserves to be number one. I understand that they lost to Ole Miss earlier this season. Yes, that wasn't a great loss for them. But at this point in the season, they look like they're clicking on all cylinders, and I really do think that they could easily be the eventual national champion as long as they get that Auburn game out of their way, which after last year's disaster, I'm pretty sure they'll take care of that. Now, Oregon being second, I definitely agree with that too. They're just really high powered this year. They've been pretty high powered for the last few years, and I would definitely put them ahead of FSU, who's at number three. Now, FSU is a whole nother story, so if you give me a minute, I'll go a little bit more in depth about that and maybe give you a little bit of a rant too. And number four, Mississippi State, I definitely agree with that because even though they did lose to Alabama, it was actually a pretty close game. They came back and fought pretty hard in the second half. So I think that they do deserve to go to the playoffs at this point if the season were to end today. So a lovely Twitter follower of mine, who I don't know if he actually follows me anymore, he got me going about the FSU Seminoles, and obviously everybody knows by now that I am really not a fan of them, and I really think that they're overrated this year. But last weekend in college football just proved to me even more that they are overrated. First of all, they almost lost to Miami, who's a three-loss team. Like, yes, Miami is pretty, decent, but it's not a team that an eventual national champion would almost lose to at this point in the season. Second of all, their quality wins were shown not to be such quality wins because, well, they almost lost to Clemson earlier this season. And who else did they almost lose to? Who they probably should have lost to? Notre Dame. And Notre Dame lost to Northwestern this weekend. So about that quality win for you, FSU. You just have nothing on your resume right now. And I sincerely hope you either lose to Florida, lose your conference championship, or you just get embarrassed in the playoffs because that'll definitely do it for me. So after Florida's devastating loss, they did decide to finally fire Coach Muschamp. And while I do actually like Muschamp as a person, everybody knows that I was pretty strong against him as a coach, as a head coach at least at the University of Florida. In all honesty, the players did love him, and I do think that that's a great sign about the kind of man that he is. But I'm not sure that he was ready for a head coaching position. I wish that we could have just kept him as a defensive coordinator or something like that. So here's to you, Muschamp. You had your time here. You had your big shot. And I will miss seeing your wife in the store that I work at. But honestly, I'm kind of glad that you're not our head coach anymore. I just wish you could stay and coach our defense. That's going to be it for my blog this week, actually. I'm running a little bit low on time. Make sure to check out my article on CFB Roundtable. It's about the Alabama Crimson Tide and whether or not I think they're going to keep rolling. Which I do, even though I hate Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban. But that's besides the point. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel and pass the video along to your friends if you liked it, or if you want to talk trash with me about FSU, whatever you want to do, just pass it along. See you next week.